Well, we're back in my garden on another really nice warm May day. Ha! Not really. It's cool again, but the plants don't seem to be minding it too much. I again made some notes so I don't forget some things I'd like to tell you about. First, inside this trellis, which my neighbor made and goes around a very old basketball hoop post, if you come up close here, you'll see that the hops are starting to vine up all the way inside of the trellis. And every year the hops gets to be a little more vigorous. Here I have some Pasquet flowers. I think they're really, really beautiful. I believe that in here, in this little garden, that this is turtle head that's coming up in here. There should be, yes, some coming up over on the other side as well. And I believe that we told you last time that this is a dwarf European cranberry bush. And the one in the middle doesn't look like it's doing very well. I don't think it's that the time is crowding it out. I just think it's not as healthy or vigorous as the others. In a week, how tall the peony has gotten, and behind it the Cinesifuga, which we talked about, is also very, very, very much taller than last time. I believe that I might have said that the spirea here is oak leaf. It's actually birch leaf spirea. And you can see here that the evening primrose is coming up nicely. They're much further along. In a week, they just grow so much in this kind of weather. They seem to like the cool. Lilies like their heads in the sun and their feet in the shade. And I can't say that's what they particularly have right here in this garden, but they still seem to be doing well. They should be dug and separated every 3 to 5 years. I don't necessarily get that done. And they're very heavy feeders, so they should be fertilized once early in the spring and once again after they have bloomed. This is a dark horse Woodgelia, and you can see that the bronze leaves are just starting to come out on it. This morning I started dethatching some of my lawn, so you see a little bit of dead grass here, and I'll do quite a bit more of that. Last year they were all red. This year we're seeing some multicolor yellow and red, and so I'm really enjoying these tulips. Korean maple, how beautiful it is with the red stems and pink fringed leaves. Oak leaf hydrangea is beginning to really get its leaves, and I cannot tell you whether I'll have blooms because the deer did get to these, and you can see they chopped off the tops, and they may have chopped off the growth that gets the bloom. In here you can see the painter's palette is really starting to come up. I just like the variegation of the leaves on the painter's palette. This is one of the few hostas I actually know the name of, Nancy, which again in just a few weeks has grown tremendously. As you can see, a lot higher than it was just a week or so ago, and coming up in all the different parts of my garden. I was told by a friend that if you leave the plumes on the ligularia instead of cutting them down in the fall, that you'll get them everywhere. So last year I did that, and I'm hoping that's what will happen. Right along the wall here in my garden, there are perennial tulips, and they don't get any taller or any bigger than what you see. One thing that I wanted you to see was the wild elderberry that's all through the wooded area here. Right now it's in bloom. Really started to disappear in the backwoods because of buckthorn, but probably 10 years ago I took it on a mission to eradicate all of the buckthorn in my backwoods, and was pretty successful in doing it. Which, like I say, I have not seen those before, but I think they're so cool. This is a peony tree, and this peony's flowers are gigantic, and this year there's going to be many, many, many flowers on this plant. But this hill is sort of difficult. As you can see, it has really washed out. I think this early spring when we had a bad storm, things really washed. And it's hard to keep a mulch on it because obviously it's a slope. But I found out from a landscape person the best thing to put down on a slope like this is hardwood mulch. And if you look at this mulch, it has large pieces in it. It's not the most beautiful mulch that you can get, but it's the best mulch for staying put on a hill. And here we have the ajuca, and I left the tag in here, so this is Burgundy Glow. Look at this plant. Again, it's just starting to get its flowers. It's called Leopard's Bane, and I hope that it spreads throughout here. This is my place to relax after I've been doing the gardening. Gardening is hard work, but it's a labor of love, and I hope that you're enjoying your gardens as much as I do mine. I know.